Hi everybody! We're gonna tell you stories from Zenithstrand this weekend. Siobhan's here with me, and it's pretty good. It's pretty great. So that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
This week was a little bit weird. It was a weird game, but that's not bad. That's not a bad thing. Weird is okay, but it was weird.
Yeah, like a bunch of the fundamental rules were like slightly different.
Yeah, there was an announcement before a game that like, when you die, all your stuff goes with you through the resurrection circle. Yes, it's weird. Yes, you can comment on that it's weird in game, you know, like this kind of stuff. There's a bunch of like announcements of like some weird changes to the actual rules of the way that the game runs. But only for this game. So we were all worried about like what was going to happen. Right? But so the drive up was the regular drive up. Like I went up with Tammy and Siobhan, and we got there around 2 a.m. ish.
Yeah.
And unpacked all our stuff and like what have you. And we had some issues very early on in the game.
Before the game even started, in fact.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that, Siobhan?
I guess like so we truck our stuff like across the camp. I have way too much stuff.
Siobhan brings lots of props, so it's like 3 trips from the car.
Yeah.
Basically, to get all the stuff in. But I mean, to be fair, she has lots of stuff and I have no stuff because she has lots of stuff. So it kind of works out, you know.
So yeah, we trucked all the stuff to like the furthest cabin away because that's kind of like where we wanted to set up, like, you know.
Yeah, like not too far from the, like far away from the tavern sort of thing. Yeah, like on the edge.
Yeah. So we set up everything up there. And everybody else, game has already started at this point, so we're like hands on our head, trying to stay out of everybody's way. And as we're kind of like settling in and taking things and like spreading out our sleeping gear, one of the people that we're supposed to be staying with starts like murdering a furbog.
It was a goblin.
Oh, goblin! A goblin
Yeah.
Starts murdering a goblin
Yeah, so we're out of game. We're standing like dealing with our stuff and like trying to set things out and like getting ready to come into game. And a bunch like 3 people come through the door. It's our Gen Vespin friend, Ryan, who plays Helene.
Yes.
And 2 Furbolg, Corey playing Tog.
Yeah.
And Avis playing Ira.
Yeah.
And they have a goblin like body with them, and they dump this goblin onto one of the beds. And then Ira starts like murdering it basically with a knife and going like, "Oh, great spirit," or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, great spirit, come visit. Come like trying to beckon down a spirit while they're like eating. Like I offer you this heart of a goblin with like blood everywhere, and then she starts to say a name called Lucy. It's like, "Oh, Lucy, come."
The
good
spirit
place. It'll be good
of
here.
Lucy, come be here. Yeah, and we're like, ah, fuck. Because, I mean, we know who Lucy is. Lucy's the first murderer. She's the Dread Knight of Bog, the decapitating menace. Like, she's bad news. Bad news spirit, you know? Like, not a good guy spirit, bad guy spirit. I mean, I was involved in killing her. So, you know, we're, like, out of game. We can't do anything about this, but it's happening.
Yeah. And then before we get into game, one of the shapers, or Tammy, comes up to me and says, "By the way, so me, when you walk into that cabin, you feel like there is a menacing aspect of Bog there, who's like the god of bloodshed and terror, and not my character's god. Very particular, not my character's god. So it's like, great! I can't sleep in this cabin.
We can't sleep there.
We moved all my stuff.
Just finished moving all our shit into it. Now we're gonna have to move all our shit elsewhere. Like out of game, it was just really frustrating because it was like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like 3 a.m. by this point, and we were like, we just want to get our shit set up and go to bed, basically.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit frustrating, but we just moved stuff and we were in a different cabin and it's fine.
Yeah, it worked out.
It worked out okay. It worked out for the best. So that was fine. Like we came in the game and then Iman couldn't like enter the building. She's like, I'm not coming in here, and I'm like, all right, you grab that stuff. Let's move it, you know, and so forth. And we just brought it to a different building. Which was fine, but it was like this like moment of inconvenience.
Yeah.
You know? If they'd waited a little bit, we could have advised them on a better spirit to pick that wasn't Lucy, you know? But they were excited about summoning a spirit and like having a cool thing, so I'm okay with that. You know.
But your pre-game like shaper interaction was a lot more worrisome than mine.
Yeah. So I had to go talk to Tammy and Wes before the game started because they needed to do something about my soul gem, because my soul gem makes me immune to psionics when I have it with me, and they're like, so here's the deal. This game, you can't find it. It's not on you. It's nowhere. You like look for it and you can't find it. Just your soul, the gem with your soul in it, the soul prison is missing. It's not on you. I was like, oh good. Yes.
The thing that will murder, like if it breaks,
That's great. The thing that if it breaks, I get obliterated is missing. That's good. Thanks. Bits. Thank you, Serial. Whoops, I lost my soul. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay, well, I trust them, like, whatever reason it is, like, that's bad, but, you know, it's fine. Did we do anything Friday night once we were in game? I feel like there was very little. Like, we maybe talked to some people.
Talked to Angeline.
Like, we met up with Angeline, who was the other Jen Vespin who was there, and he had already, like, discovered a whole bunch of stuff during the Friday night. Like, earlier, he's like, I think we're in a dream.
Yeah.
I think this Fae has something to do with it.
Yeah. Oh, and we met Syl.
No, you mean Till?
Till.
Yeah.
Sorry, we met Till.
Yeah, so we met this NPC called Till, and she's like this human NPC who is like, oh, I'm also stuck here or whatever. I don't know where I am. And like Monty, the Fae, is my friend, and he doesn't like it when people like upset him. So if you could like stop people upsetting him, that'd be great.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was like looking for a place to sleep, so we were like, sleep here if you want. And yeah. I think that was mostly our Friday night.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it was like 5 a.m. by the time we got to bed. It was really, really late or really, really early, depending on what kind of person you are, I guess. So, you know, that... I don't think my body handles that kind of thing very well, because the next day I didn't feel very good. But, like, I was, like, real tired and super exhausted. And we had a nice, comfy sort of, like, sleep, but... Yeah. I was just like so out of it. But okay. At some point during the night, Electra and Scott arrived.
Yeah.
So Syl and Cade.
Yeah. And
as well as Lucian. They arrived at some point during the night because they were even later than we were. Which is crazy. But I don't really remember because I was so exhausted. I was just like, nope, I'm not moving. I'm asleep. Fuck you. I remember them talking a little bit about something. Then I was like, maybe you could be quiet. And then I just went back to sleep.
Yeah, there's the grumpy you've awoken Aeryn noise.
Yeah, that's what I remember doing. I remember saying something about like, shut the hell up, but like in an Aeryn way.
Yeah. And
then going back to sleep. So yeah, it was an exhausting Friday. Then Saturday morning,
I think we got up.
What was like the first thing we did?
There were some werewolf demons.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
About those.
So there was a bunch of werewolf demons that came looking specifically to kill Amon, basically like, you haven't freed us, we're the werewolf spirits that you sent to hell, and we're back to fuck you up.
We're trying!
And like me and Amon were like, we're trying, we're working on it, I got my soul sucked out for this. Shit like that.
Yeah.
But it was just like, a little combat mod. They weren't really authorized to dialogue with us, I don't think.
I don't think so.
And then we did our mod, I think, after that.
Although, the funny thing is that, like, Scott, Cade's player, who was, like, involved with us, like, when this first happened, was doing an NPC shift at the time and was playing one of these werewolves.
Yeah, he's like, playing a werewolf when I should be out there dealing with the werewolves.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. But I think it was our thing after that. Was it?
The ritual.
We didn't do rituals.
No.
Before we did our mod.
And Helene went on the boat.
Ew, we gotta do the mod before
Oh,
that.
yeah. The mod before that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we delivered. Yeah, we did it.
So,
Yes.
so this is one of those games where Siobhan and I got asked to like play some specific NPCs. So we did. At a certain point, Tammy came along and Tammy went like this. She just had a white headband on. She came up to me and she went.
Yep.
And I knew the mod was like on.
She did exactly the same thing.
And I just like hopped up from the couch and walked out and grabbed my stuff and whatever. I couldn't get my Aeryn makeup off because I forgot to bring the alcohol remover to get the makeup off. So I just wore like a bandana around my face to cover up all the makeup. So I played Maddie this game. The very charming French pirate, high elf, you know.
Charming.
Yeah, very charming.
Very touchy.
Yeah, very touchy. Yeah. And you played an NPC you haven't played in what, like 2-3 years?
Yeah, like 3 years.
Captain Caraba.
Yeah.
The original captain of the original Zenithstrand Maymont voyage.
Yeah.
The very first Zenithstrand, like, important NPC who went crazy.
So crazy.
But in this dream, it was as if we had just arrived and we were setting up the Skyne Gate, right? So we were trying to direct everyone. We're like, well, we need to set up the Skyne Gate. Help us like bring it out. And they came up to like where our boat was, and Tammy was like, visibly, you see nothing, you know?
Yeah.
And we're like, the Skyne Gate, it's right here. And then it's like, no, there's nothing there. You know? And then eventually they're like, oh yeah, the Skyne Gate, and they just like picked up nothing.
And, like, we're trying to, like, say, like, yes, now we need to coordinate all together, so make sure you get it all in sync. And the players are like, all right,
okay,
we'll count this out.
Like they knew something was up, but they didn't know what to do about it. So they just carried a fake Skyne Gate in that, like, not just, like, the Skyne Gate's there, they picked it up and they moved it, but the Skyne Gate wasn't there. They faked picking up nothing, and then they moved it like it was a heavy object. Which is fucking amazing. And we set it up, and then Tammy's NPC, Lady du Soleil, was like, I'll pay for the first person or the first trip through the Skyne Gate to see if it's working.
Oh, we need to activate it and bring it and test it out, because this is like the whole point of like the narrative that we're trying to say is like get people into the original story of Zenithstrand that most of the characters had no idea about, so we're trying to kind of like...
Yeah, because the original story was like, the Maymont is bringing this new Skyne Gate to Zenithstrand so that they can have a portal and start a town, basically.
Because it's mostly desolate, so we're coming here and we're kind of like a sliver of that past, bringing the present.
Yeah, she was real and I was fake, though, as well. Like, she was a real person trapped in this dream, Captain Caraba, and I was like a fake Maddie that was conjured by the dream to try and keep Captain Caraba from, like, waking up. So I was just, like, going along with her delusions, you know? She'd be like, we need to move the Skyne Gate. I'd be like, good idea, you know? And work with her in this dream and try and keep her quiet. But anyway, they set up this fake Skyne Gate.
Yeah.
And then you activated it with your, what was your phrase?
It's like, all hail Emperor Louis.
Oh, yeah, because it was from Burfont.
Eye roll.
Yeah, all hail Emperor Louis. Activate the Skyne Gate. Yeah. And then people were like, wait, it's active? They can't see it. It's nothing. There's nothing there. And we're like, go through.
We need to test it.
We need to test it. So I think 3 people went through.
Yeah.
It was like Yira, Adeline, and Helene.
Yeah.
I think. But so they went through, and as they stepped into the invisible Skyne Gate they couldn't see, they disappeared. Just gone. And people were like, what? It works? What? It's nothing. There's nothing there. People were very confused.
Yeah. And then, of course, we are totally happy. Everything's working as expected. Let's go celebrate.
Yeah, and then we head to the tavern, have some drinks, you know, like, it was good. Like, everything's working the way it should.
Yeah, Tammy runs off and does, I don't know what, with those
plot
players.
stuff with those players,
But...
And then, and later on, Like, because what happens next isn't super important. Like, they arrive again,
Yeah.
and then there's some, like, weird stuff with the Skygate,
Yeah.
and we like, tried to, like, fix it or move it, and then, like, eventually we were like, it's fine, we'll get a Sky Mage and we'll come back, and our NPCs left. But we found out that what Helene had done is he had used a fake Skygate to try and activate the real Skygate on the boat, where he found us all asleep. All of the characters in the, like, that are currently in the game asleep on, like, the deck of this ship.
Yeah.
And that we were sailing into, like, dangerous undead waters, you know, where, like the undead would crawl up from the black water.
It's like sails flapping in the winds, like the mast is just, like, bowing back and forth, spinning. And
so quick thinking wise, he dropped the anchor.
Yeah.
So that we wouldn't, like, sail into this horrible water, and we were just kind of stuck where we were until we fixed the whole sleeping thing. But it confirmed for us that we were in a dream, right?
Mm.
Because Helene came back and was like, yeah, everybody's asleep up there. I could have done whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
And he's like, could have thrown Adeline off the boat. Stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, Helene.
Helene is great.
Yeah.
So good.
But so we find that out. We confirm that we're in a dream. We don't know whose dream we're in or, like, what the dream is or any of that stuff, but we're definitely sleeping, and, like, what is happening isn't real.
Mm.
The game up until this point has been quite deadly. I know I've, like, we haven't seen it, but, like, during the Friday night, people died.
Yeah.
During the Saturday morning, people died. You know, and it continued to be a very, very dangerous game throughout the entire game. Like, it was, like, obliterates and deaths and all kinds of horrible shit was, like, going out. You know, it's no problem.
Yeah.
So once we did that mod, what was the next thing? Rituals were the next thing, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, ritual. Oh, and also, Helene was telling us about the heart of the Maimon.
Oh, yeah.
That he was looking for.
Yeah, that he was looking for the heart of the Maimon, and that Scarf had a cauldron.
Yeah.
That was the heart of the Maimon, and that he was trying to, like, get Scarf to give it to him.
Yeah, because...
Scarf is this, like, vendor NPC who likes terrible stuff. That's it, really.
Yeah. But then, like, as this is happening, oh, I also did a dark lore to try and talk to a spirit.
Oh, did you?
Really
I don't know anything about that, so you go.
So one of the character abilities that Iman has is the ability to kind of, like, either summon a spirit and talk to it about, like, some form of information that she wants. So I tried using that spell while we're in this place and said I want to find out information about my corporeal body. And what happens is that sometime later I hear, like, mind meld, do you accept, as I'm just walking around in the cabin. Sure, someone's trying to reach out to me psychically. Okay. And I have this conversation with a very worried woman who's, like, trying to find out why everyone's asleep on a boat. And trying to, like, wake us up. And it's like, I couldn't wake anyone up, and so on and so forth. And she says, we're having this conversation, and then she starts falling, and starts getting tired, and I break the mind meld after I tell her, run to the Sky Gate! Get away!
Get away, don't fall asleep here.
Don't come back! And yeah, she did fall asleep and enter the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was the response to my, like, summon a spirit, which was really interesting, because, like, how do you summon a spirit in someone's dream?
Yeah.
Apparently you, like, affect the dreamscape itself, which was really cool. Like, I should have
done
that's more, pretty cool. I think. That would have been fun. But yeah, that spurred me, like, wanting to, like, ghost wolf through the Sky Gate to figure out what was going on.
But then you got a ritual scroll as well. Just, like, randomly plopped into your lap.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. I was just hanging around, just hanging around, and all of a sudden, like, Tammy scurries by with a white headband on, just leans over, inspects me for a second, rolls up a piece of paper and, like, puts it, like, right in between my belt.
Yeah.
Just, like, disappears. Okay. This is a scroll that I've been looking for and trying to buy.
Yes, the restore memory ritual scroll.
Now,
with 2 charges.
Yeah. Iman being the crazy, like, maybe crazy, but being very, I don't know, she's kind of a crazy zealot, so she's like, this is a sign. We have to do this now.
And I was like, but I only have a level 4 ritual slot, and it's a level 4 ritual. It's gonna be really risky. She's like, I don't care. Do it. I'm like, okay.
I'll help.
Great. So we did a couple rituals. So we had to make a psionic circle. So we did that, and it resolved just fine. There was a bonus thing on it though, which was like when you're in the circle and you cast a spell, you can cause it to echo, which is awesome because it means like if you throw something and they call a defense, you can call echo and defeat their defense basically. But also that something could be summoned through it, like something could come through it.
Like it'd be like attractive to psionic creatures in the area.
Yeah, basically. So this is like some bonus stuff, and we didn't lose any charges on the ritual scrolls because this is a dream, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, that's
so we made this psionic circle, and then we tried to cast your ritual.
Yep.
So
which we had to like jury rig the requirements.
So the requirements for the restore memory ritual are a sheet of paper 4 feet by 2 feet
at least,
and 2 different colors of paint
and a palette to
put them on. That's the requirement. So our palette was an egg carton that Siobhan had hard-boiled eggs in at one point that we were just snacking on.
Yep.
Our paint was some fake blood and some makeup.
No, some like semi-permanent blue conditioner.
Oh, conditioner, like hair dye stuff?
Conditioner hair dye from Ryan.
So it was like fake blood and blue conditioner. And our 4x5 paper was a bunch of paper towels taped together to be large enough.
Yeah.
That was our setup. Because she wanted to do it today. But anyway, so what we had to do for this ritual is we had to paint the memory we wanted to restore to Iman, and then crumple up the paper and throw it at Iman, and say like return to Iman, you know, like this image. So we were trying to get her back the memories of like what happened to her family, because roleplay.
Yeah.
And
tragic.
We painted a great picture that I wish I'd taken a picture of or something. It was fantastic.
We'll do it again. Don't worry.
God, I know. Do it again. So we painted a picture, and then we crumpled it up and threw it at Amon, returned to Amon, and we waited. And then the ritual ended, and I went to go pull the stones. And so the way that this works is there are 3 stones. There's a white stone, a red stone, and a black stone.
Yeah.
Right? So a white stone means success, a red stone means backlash, and a black stone means fail.
Yeah.
So I went and I pulled a stone. Black. It's a failure, basically. And then the ritual marshal's like, do you want to re-pull the stone? Because I have a secondary caster, so she can pull a stone too. So put it away, let Siobhan come forward. Siobhan picks a stone, and...
it's red.
Backlash. She's like, I have luck! Can I use luck? And they're like, yeah, totally. So you put the stone back, get to redraw, pull a different stone.
I agonize over this.
And backlash. She pulled another red. A second time she pulled red on a fucking luck. It's like a 1 in 3. So we backlashed the ritual, which means like bad stuff happened from the like ritual going poorly.
Yeah. There's like a 1 to 100 list of like these are the bad things.
Every number from 1 to 100 has a different thing that happens to you, basically.
Yeah.
And the ritual marshal just went, you, number from 1 to 100.
Yeah.
And they're like, 55? And then we looked at the ritual, backlash chart, 55. And 55 was like, your flesh begins to slough off, and every 10 minutes, you take an arcane 5 dismember as one of your limbs just, like, falls off your body as you melt into a puddle of goo. Yeah, basically.
And as the last one hits, then you're bleeding out.
Yeah, and if you lose your last limb, you start bleeding out. So that was the backlash. So you take 4 arcane dismembers, and then you're bleeding out, and then you're okay. Yeah. Basically. But it's one of those things where it was like, fuck! I'm doing the only reason we even did this ritual is because you're, like, it's not even helpful.
It's very helpful. It's very helpful. It's very important that you, like...
But so we started melting, and everybody was freaking out, like, trying to heal us and stuff. But, like, for the next, basically, like, hour... we were in the cabin because we were either losing limbs and waiting for us to be in a point where it's worth healing us, or regrowing limbs from regen potions that we had to wait for. Yeah. Yeah, it was a big mess.
Yeah, I think at one point we were just like hanging out on like a bed, like completely incapable of moving because like I had a leg and you had an arm that could move, and I was just like,
yeah, we were basically just lying on our bed like just lying there, couldn't do anything. Everything else was happening. A kraken attacked or something while we were like this, and we didn't know about it. It was like in the tavern or something. So that happened.
At one point, I was like, "Oh, I could use a cleansing light to fix all of this instantly." It's like, no, I can't. I have no hands.
I have no hands. I cannot cast. Yeah, that kind of thing. So it was kind of gross and terrible and whatever. But as far as backlashes go, neither of us died.
Mm.
So it worked out okay.
It would have been really bad if people weren't nearby us.
Yeah, if we didn't have people to like help us, it would have been really difficult because we didn't really have what we needed to not melt. So yeah, it's great. Did that, and then what else?
I think at that point you started wanting to lie down.
I was not feeling very well, so I put my head down and I slept for a couple hours because I had a really bad headache after the rituals, and I don't know what it was. I think it may have been the focus and a bit of the stress, you know what I mean? Really getting me like in a bad zone. So I lied down, put my witch hat over my face, and just like slept in the bed that we had. But what did you guys do while I was asleep? What happened while I was asleep?
Oh, there's a merchant that came back about some rituals that I'm on.
How? It's a dream!
I have
How
no
did she
idea!
get there?
I don't know! I asked her this, and she was like, "Oh, I just went through the Skyne Gate." I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna ask more.
Cool.
Alright, cool. Lady who can get anything? Yeah. But yeah, so that worked out really well. She decided not to rip us off terribly for that ritual I wanted because she could only bring back one of them.
Yeah, so there was a merchant the last game that Siobhan had asked for some rituals.
Yes.
And which ones did you ask for? You asked for
the Restore Memory. The
Restore Memory, the Strength of Dire Bear, and the Relic Divine Relic, yeah. And the only one she brought was the Divine Relic because we got the Restore Memory one just dropped into her lap.
She said she lost the Restore Memory.
The Restore Memory. She lost it. She dropped into Siobhan's lap, and she didn't tell her. Did you? Yeah.
I didn't lie about it. No. I just was like, oh.
But so the Divine Relic ritual got delivered, which is awesome because it's what Siobhan's been wanting for forever.
Yes. Although now I need like very many
more ritual
slots to cast it. So I'm at 4 right now. I would need 6 in order to have the same odds that we just had.
Yeah, and then 9 for it to be like sort of wrote that you would succeed.
Yeah. So I'm probably gonna figure out all of that because I really want to cast it because it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah. So that was very exciting. It's something that my character's been looking for a long time.
So it's cool to resolve it, yeah. And because you didn't get the Strength of the Dire Bear, you got some other stuff, right?
Yeah, so the ritual I used to, like, kind of trade in for it, was, like...
a level 8 ritual with lots of
with so stuff. Many... Basically, it was very valuable, and it was something that we weren't ever going to use, so she gave us...
Shaft of Gaia. It's a shitty ritual.
It's really bad.
It's like make a magic staff with a level 8 ritual.
Yeah, it has some... I think it has some, like, level 3 spells on it that you can use.
Oh, no.
And only you can use it, though.
Yeah.
Nobody else. Only you. But yeah, so that wasn't going to get used. So got a lot of credit off that. So that hopefully means in the future there will be more rituals and more chances for terrible melting experiments.
Yeah, more melting. Great.
Or Aeryn speaking like a kobold.
No, I would rather be obliterated. I would rather take an obliterate than have to speak like a kobold for 5 minutes. Actually, I would just be quiet for 5 minutes. I would not say anything for 5 minutes. I would rather take an obliterate than have to sound like a kobold for a whole game. Because kobolds sound really annoying in Underworld.
They do, yeah.
They're not cool like Ishi. They're like this!
Yeah.
And it'll really ruin any kind of impact any character has because you have to speak like this.
Yeah, I have to, like, speak high-pitched and nasally. Nasal.
Nasal.
They're really annoying.
That's what kobolds sound like in fucking Underworld.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a kobold in Underworld. Zippy many shinies. Yeah.
Except if you're Zippy many shinies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be alright.
Shinies.
There's so many.
This gem has all the shinies.
All of them. I wonder, are there leftover shinies rattling around in Aeryn's soul prison?
Oh, that's not where the shinies were.
Oh, that's
The
right.
shinies were in Zippy's little...
Right.
And I
Different
traded him
gem.
away.
Yeah, different gem entirely.
Yeah. Anyway. So we did the rituals. And you got some stuff from a vendor. What else happened while I was asleep?
Then Angeline got the heart.
Oh.
Yeah. So
How did you get that?
So there's some stuff going on in the tavern itself, where the tavern was the tavern of the site was like kind of like getting flooded, and there were things going on, and there was the heart was in the center of it.
Oh yeah.
Because the merchant didn't have it anymore.
Scarf didn't have it.
He didn't have it. So they were trying to defend the heart, and Angeline, like, kind of in the confusion, just picked it up and walked off.
Oh, just like picked up the heart and left with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he brought it into the cabin, and then we had a wonderful idea where I was like, hey, our psionic circle, one of the passive effects is you can identify mind-affecting effects. So let's put the heart in the middle and see what happens.
Yeah, put the heart in the center of the psionic circle and see if we can identify it.
So I run out to find a shaper and, like, run into Tammy, like, on the way in. And then on the way, like, towards, so I bring her in.
Yeah.
And so far in the cabin, it is you, it is me, it is Angeline, and it is Cade.
Yep.
4 of us in this cabin. I go to identify it, talk to Tammy, and she's like, all right, well, you feel like this is the source of all of this mind-affecting things that are happening right now. Everything that's going on is centered on this. Okay. All right. I know what to do. Kneel in front of it, start talking to it, and be like, all right, Maimon, like, we're all here, we're all with you here. We're all in this together, but I would like to see clearly. I would like us all to open our eyes and see what's going on. Find out what is really happening here. Innate charm break.
So she used the charm break, which, like, destroys any mind-affecting effect in a person, on the heart of the Maimont, which we were told is the center of all the bad stuff that's happening.
And, like, this charm break ability is a racial one, which means that it's more powerful than any kind of,
any
magical effect could possibly ever be, kind of thing. There's a hierarchy in that sense. So then Tammy starts laughing out of game, and she says, I will be back. I need to... Things are coalescing here. I need to go talk to some people and come back to figure out what's happened here.
Yep.
So we're kind of...
Hanging out.
I think
we went out of game slightly to just be like, what the fuck? And I was awake by this point.
Yeah.
To be like, what the fuck? Oh no, what's gonna happen? Have we ruined everything?
I think there's a little bit of like, Iman, what did you do?
Pretty much. You didn't ask anyone, you just did it.
It's a mind-affecting effect on something really...
Yeah, I guess, but you didn't even wait to see if it was a good plan or not. You didn't confer with anyone.
It was a great plan. It was a great plan. It worked out.
I guess.
It almost didn't work out.
You didn't know it was gonna work out, okay? Anyway.
Yeah. So,
vigorously hug them!
Neanderpaul, thank you for the sub. I'll just do it. Why not? I forgot to turn the alerts off, so we're here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so
Wes comes in.
Yeah.
Wes comes in, so not Tammy, and starts to say, like, all 4 of us, our eyes open, we're on the Maimont, and we see the manifestation of fear before us, who's someone who is a very powerful fae who has been involved in Zenithstrand's past, is kind of protects everybody as long as they play by his rules.
Yeah.
Which is usually, hey, this terrifying situation, embrace it and be scared. Or just embrace it.
And then I'll protect you.
Yeah, embrace your fear and I will protect you. So he shows up and he's starting to tell, and then purple corruption is seeping in through the floorboards of the boat as we're all there, and he talks to us directly, being like, I can see now, I understand. Silt is trying to corrupt me and corrupt this dream. You are all in my dream. You need to, like, keep this all together. Like, this is all on you now. It's all kind of, like, broken.
Yeah.
And then we get pulled out of that, and then the door of the cabin opens.
And it's Tammy playing Till, this NPC that we'd met before.
That stayed in our cabin overnight.
Who's actually Silt, the manifestation of the orb of corruption. So, like, she's like the manifestation of this very powerful object, basically. And this is her physical manifestation, this person. And she's like, no, you all are staying here. You know, like, kind of very angry. And we're like, oh, fuck, okay, it's time to fight.
Yeah.
And
the second the door opened, I grabbed the heart and stashed it, like, immediately, like, she never even saw it kind of thing.
But, like, I got up and threw some spells at... the first thing she did was she stepped in and she went, Sever Divine, or, like, whatever, Arcane Sever Divine on Iman, which, like, removes her light magic, basically.
Which is
bad.
Very bad.
And then I jump up and I'm standing in the psionic circle, so I'm like, this is gonna work. Shatter Skull. And she's like, reflect. And I'm like, dodge echo. And she goes, reflect. And I go, shield magic echo. And she goes, reflect. And I go, okay. I just like die there. And the thing, like, there's only so many things I can echo. You got the reflect stacked. I'm like, like, bounce my spell back a whole bunch of times. And then fucking, did our best. So I'm dying on the like.
Then Cade
bed.
is like stepped over you and takes his sword and like starts like fending off this.
Yeah, and then Cade looks like it's going really well. Cade's like fighting with his swords, like doing this thing, and then he goes 10 body decapitate and gets her with it. Like the magic 10 body decapitate gets her with it, and we're like, oh shit!
Because she didn't call any defenses.
She didn't call any defenses. She just took it, and then she leaned down, reached down, and like picked up her own head, and like put it back on her body, and like twisted it a little bit, and was like, rude. Like,
and after that she starts flinging like corruptive illuminate, like taking the magic that she stole from Iman,
from you,
corrupting it and just flinging it at Iman, who starts breaking down and crying like the poor little bean.
Yep, and I'm just dying on the like middle of the room, and Cade grabs me and like pulls me outside after the decapitate fells. It's like grabs me, pulls me outside, like hands me off to someone, and I get like carted off to the tavern to get like life spell.
So then like Helene and I kind of like try and follow our way out. On the way out, she just like chucks it. I don't remember what happened, but somehow Helene like gets a death effect and falls over.
Yeah.
And then I'm booking it out with Cade, like trying to run after you. Because while this was all happening, he ran out. I noticed that Aeryn didn't have her pouch, which has her imp in it, who will save Aeryn.
Who will save me if I'm about to die. Yeah, like my imp can life me, basically. Like it's not a contingency effect, but the imp itself is smart enough and like unique enough that it acts on its own. Because it's a ritual effect. Yeah. To dark pact me, because it loves me. You know, if I'm gonna die. But if the imp is not nearby, it can't do that. So I didn't have my pouch because I'd gotten up out of bed to like fight, basically. Yeah.
So we're booking it away, and Helene's over there, Aeryn's over there. These are the bad times.
the bad times.
The bad times. So I noticed that she's kind of getting pulled towards the tavern. So I take the side road, double back for Helene. Go up to him, realize that I can't actually use one of my cleansing light on him because I've had my divinity severed.
Yeah,
so I can't.
You don't have any light spells. Yeah.
So then I run over to the bed where like I'd stashed a life scroll, burn the scroll, bring him back up, hand him Aeryn's imp, and like send him like, and Helene, run as fast as you can to Aeryn. Go.
Get this to Aeryn. Yeah.
You are faster than I am. Run. And he books it out the door, and I think trips over you walking back.
Yeah, basically like runs into me on my way back. Yeah. Meanwhile, I got lifed by Casimir in the tavern. who was just like hanging out there
Yeah.
and like lifed me when I got dragged in. But I didn't have my robe or my cloak or anything.
Yeah.
So Lucian like gave me his like big purple coat, and I'm like, fine. Just like put the coat on, like stalk back to the cabin and like
angrily
immediately discard it on the bed. But like run into Enneline on the way, and like everybody was okay. We managed to survive, and she like disappeared.
But it was
tense. It was like she was fucking brutal.
It was a... If we didn't realize that we should run, it would have been very bad.
Yeah. And Tammy came back afterwards and like out of game was like, is that okay? Like she was really strong, and like I felt bad because like you couldn't kill her, and she was like really emotional about it, and we're like, no, Tammy, it's okay, like it's fine, we trust you, we trust your shaping, whatever you're doing, it's cool, like I'm not gonna get mad, you know?
Like even if we had died, like this wasn't the best plan. But I
also understand like having that emotional reaction to playing something strong enough to kill players like very easily.
Yeah.
Because you really have to be able to use your better judgment as to like what you're gonna do. Because if you can do anything, if your stats are question mark, and you just do whatever the fuck you want, you gotta make sure it's not bullshit. You know? And I think she did it really well. I wonder what would happen if somebody tried to run off with her head. She probably just grown a new one. Or like summoned it back. Or just pointed at them and been like, power word point pull, power word point death, thanks for my head. Yeah. You know, like she was so powerful that she didn't have to interact with game mechanics. Like it wasn't, you know, she had like, at one point she just opened her arms like this and went, cone effect, magic obliterate.
Yeah.
Fucked everything up in a whole cone. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't care.
Blah blah booby www bit alpha tango 5. Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Dice Stormly, for the 15 months in a row. I should have turned the alerts off.
YouTube,
but it's okay. YouTube know that Twitch is alert. They like lovely. Okay. Shaping, is that like GMing? Yes. Yeah, it is. So anyway. That happened, and then we were warned that there was going to be, like, more of Silt's minions, and, like, that things were going to get really dangerous,
That was
right?
slightly later.
Was it?
So this was kind of like a general, like, half-hearted, half thing. And then I think you went back to sleep after that.
Yeah.
Then I think it was just, like, general kind of, like, hanging around. I don't remember anything in particular, except for sometime later, Monty shows up.
Yeah, Monty, the Fae.
Monty, who is also the manifestation of fear at this point.
Yeah, we found out that he's the manifestation of fear.
So Enneline and I walk up to Monty and just go, "Hey, Monty, how's it going? We have something that I think you'd really like seeing it. Why don't you come with us? Because we're trying to like not alarm him and not get Till's attention.
Yeah,
and kind of like pull him off to the side. So we get him inside the cabin. And I think you'd stashed the heart like to the side, so we're like, Aeryn, we need the heart.
Yeah, I'd stashed it. Yeah.
We pull it out and hand it to Monty, and then Monty looks at it, looks at all of us, and starts like addressing us by name, and is completely cogent and tells us everything that's been going on about like how the Maymont is actually him. It's his sloughed off corpse that normally is discarded by like treants in the Fey realm.
Yeah.
Some mortals stole it and built it into their ship.
Yeah.
So
the Maymont, the ship that the whole game Zenithstrand started on, was made with parts of the corpse of the manifestation of fear.
Yes. And this ship is like had horrible luck and has traveled around and it's
like a cursed vessel.
Yeah. And the manifestation of fear is telling us how great it is. He never wanted it, but now it's there, and he has, like, this dual existence where he is at once the manifestation of fear and also able to see the world.
Yeah.
And inside his head, where he is right now, he's Monty. And he is this genial kind of
yeah.
presence. Who's kind of like the kindly aspect
Yeah.
that we get.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So it's like it was really interesting because there's the manifestation of fear is very like abrupt and fey and terrifying, and then Monty is just kind of like, how's it going?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
And then he explains what's happening. That when he brought us in because he needs help, because Till, or Silt, the Orb of Corruption, is attempting to take him over. She's acting directly.
Yeah, she like wants the manifestation of fear for some reason.
Yeah, because like, and he kind of implied it's because Chernozog, the demon of wrath that she's been using, the eye cult and all this stuff, is starting like he's starting not to be strong enough. He's starting not to be enough. Mm-hmm. Like she's starting to have to actually move her pieces herself. She can't like
rather than rely on the demon.
Yeah. So she wants another one, and this manifestation of fear is probably the most powerful thing that's been genial to us in general.
It's been helpful in the past.
Yeah. So by bringing us in, he's feeding off of our fear and how we're interacting in his dream, but Silt.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's very confusing because there's also a player.
There's a player named Sil. There's a corrupted orb named Silt, and there's the NPC that is the representation of Silt called Till. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of these, every time we die, we feed the orb's power.
Yeah, so even in this dream, when we die and there's not really a consequence for death, the consequences were making the Orb of Corruption stronger.
Yeah.
Basically.
And after Helene hears this, he's just like, crap. I have to care about all these idiots.
Yeah, like, nobody can die. Fuck.
Yeah. So at that point, we all run out to go spread the word. I think Aeryn's left behind to have...
I have a small talk with Monty on my own, but nothing significant, like, sort of comes out of it. It's just, like, a little talk that's like, yeah, respect, basically. I got a message from my patron that was like, here's some stuff you might not know, but we already knew. Here's some stuff you might not know, but that we already knew. And that Nalstramus is not happy because Silt is trying to do stuff that Nalstramus does. Dreams and nightmares are Nalstramus' domain. She needs to fuck right off. Basically.
Nice.
So it's like, fuck her up, please. You know? Like, sort of from my demon patron. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys about a demon deal I made.
Yes!
So Tog the Furbolg, and actually there's a combat I think maybe it was Saturday night. I'm not sure.
It was Saturday night.
Was it?
Yeah.
So Tog the Furbolg wanted a demon deal, and I made a demon deal for him. For his true name, I got him magic hands and strength like an ogre. And
specifically was what
he asked for magic hands and strength like an ogre for a long time. I was like, okay, he's a Furbolg, so he talks like a caveman, But I wasn't gonna misinterpret his words. You know what I mean? Like, and so I went to the demon and I went, I'm looking for a favor. Here's the true name. He would like in return magic hands and strength like an ogre. And so Tammy was like, oh yeah, hands. So she grabs like a plastic, like bloody plastic hand fizz rep, like a fucking Halloween prop, sticks a tag on it, writes 0 magic aura on it, and then +3 strength. So you gotta have this bloody hand with you. It's not like his hands are magic, it's that he gets a magic hand. It's the best deal ever. It was real good. Yep. And for his true name, I get an extra strong person who owes me. Exactly. Yep. It's one of those things where it's like, I basically bought Tog's loyalty with a magic hand. It's like a decaying, gross, rotting hand that gives Tog a magic aura and +3 strength. And he's already got +1 because he's a Furbolg, I think. Mm-hmm. So he's like +4 strength, like garrote wiring people and stuff. It's great. It's very strong. But so yeah, he got an extra hand. So that was cool. That's pretty sweet. And yeah.
Yeah, so we found out all this information. So going to go and try and spread it because like we need to make sure everybody doesn't die. That means everybody needs to know this.
Yeah, we had to like tell everybody all this stuff we learned.
Yeah. So I run into the tavern and like yell out all this information. It's like, all right, I don't know what's next, but this is what's happening. And then Lucian pops in and is like, I know what's next. I have a plan, but so overcomplicated. He's
I
like,
arrived at the end of this plan and I was like, Lucian, you're an idiot. I'm pretty sure.
Well, his plan was like, all right, everybody get into groups and send me a representative, and I will tell you the plan in secret because we do not know who might be listening. And then that plan will get back to all the other people. And I'm like, all right, Lucian, do your thing. I've got to go.
I'm just gonna yell stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna go take a break for a moment. I'll come back when this is all figured out.
Yeah. So Lucian's grand plan, here's what it amounted to. He turned off all the fucking lights everywhere. So the whole place was pitch-ass dark. Nobody could see goddamn anything. I was like, this is not a plan. This is better for them than it is for us. We can't see. But so we know that Silt's minions are going to be coming to fuck us up. And we ended up back in our cabin for some reason. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't when we were going cabin to cabin, but it...
Oh, but yeah, before we were wandering around with a group, because we all broke into groups, was the idea, and then we kind of like...
So we'd spend some time in one cabin and then move on, and
Yeah.
some time in another cabin and then move on, and
Yeah.
like just try and keep moving to like make our position unpredictable. And we ended up back in our cabin, and then there were people outside, some cultists of some sort. We could hear them chanting, and we fought them in the doorway a little bit. And then we pushed out of our cabin and started, like, what I would call the best fight of the whole event outside of our cabin with these cultists in the dark. And it was, like, really dramatic and super awesome. And I did lots of eye for an eyeing where people would be like, ha-ha, 50 slay. And I'd be like, eye for an eye. And then we'd both flinch and fucking take the hit. You know, there was one point where Ed was like, ha, 50 slay. And he hit me. And it went, eye for an eye. He went, ah, breach, and I went, oh, breach, like, as we both, like, split apart from each other on the fucking sleigh. It was super great, like, both our armor busted up.
Yeah.
It was just, like, that kind of stuff was just fun. It's just fun when you can have, like, a good fight.
Yeah.
And feel like you're not being, like, cheesed.
Well, it was also really intense, though, too.
It was really intense. It was really difficult. There was a lot of, like, distract the guy, and then Angela would choke one, and then distract another guy, and Tog would be there, you know, like, that kind of stuff. Like, there's a lot of that
and also,
going
like,
on.
trying to keep track of, like, who was, like...
Who was up, who was down, who was asleep, who was paralyzed, like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But so eventually we moved this fight all the way back to the tavern, and we stayed in the tavern for most of the night.
Yeah, at that point, it's like, all right, Lucian, we tried it your way. Now we're just...
Everybody group up, everybody get ready to fight, basically.
And, yeah, there were a bunch of, like, cultists sneaking in, trying to
stab people and stuff,
Yeah, demons.
It was a very deadly game.
Yeah.
Like, demons came, we fought the demons. Oh, and then the keys.
Oh, yeah, but before the keys, we did the walk around.
Oh, yeah, okay, so we realized that we were missing some people, and so we went as a whole group and, like, did a walk around the whole place, turning the lights back on as we went. And, like, led by Angeline, basically. Like, we went cabin to cabin and searched. And in one of them, we found Sophie doing CPR on somebody.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Like, indefinitely?
Yeah.
She had the blue hair. She stays with the dragon camp. I don't know her
Oh, the,
actual
like,
name.
blue-haired girl?
Yeah.
I don't know her name either, sadly.
Yeah.
But so, like, we found someone doing, like, CPR, trying to keep somebody alive in one of the cabins.
In our cabin.
Yeah.
Like, no idea how they got in there. Like,
Yeah.
they must have, like, sheltered in there and hid. Like, there's a story
And
there.
we saw the spirit of Yira, like, run up and be like, yo, I'm dead over there, like, sort of thing, because she's a mystic and she can do that. So we went to heal her. And then we ended up back in the tavern.
Yeah.
Basically. Because we didn't engage with anything while we were out there. It was very, like, there's something in the trees over there, but ignore it, let's keep moving. And we ended up back in the tavern.
I just want to say, it's kind of a minor miracle that many kind of, like, that many characters in this wonton group, because there were about, like, 15 of us. Nobody kind of deviated from the plan.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of stayed grouped up, and I think that's because of the light.
Maybe.
Because having a light in a central point would really help.
But anyway, so we made it back to the tavern, and then that NPC in the black cloak ran in with demons on her tail. right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So she ran in and you took care of her
Yeah.
and like went back with her. And then I was
Because Jamel.
yeah, because I was at the front and I'm like, I opened the door and I'm like, Angelic Demonic Arts, what kind of demon are you? You know, or whatever. Angelic Demonic Arts, greater or lesser? And Wes is there in like demon gear and he goes, greater, Balrog, visibly Jamal. And Jamal is like a demon we've dealt with a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Who was like an imp that was in the first game. And like, he's been Super Jamal that I killed with Tawny once, like with a gas globe. And he's been all, Jamal's just like a demon that shows up all the time. And I was like, oh, Jamal, how's it going? And he's like, no time for talking, we need the keys. And I'm like, I don't know what the keys are. He's like, give me the keys, I don't want to be devoted to an imp, give me the keys. And I'm like, I don't know what the keys are, Jamal. And then, you know, they came in and we fought some demons.
Yeah.
And I managed to control 2 of the, like, wolf demons.
Yeah.
And so I had this, like, this pair of demons defending me, basically, the whole time. And eventually I was like, defend that circle, you know, and they went over there and, like, circled around Iman and the NPC who were talking and, like, growled at anybody who came close because they were, like, wolf demons.
It felt so cool.
Yeah.
It felt so cool.
Yeah, I had, like, these demons under my control and it was super great.
Yeah,
It's super great for me to actually, you know, like, get to control some stuff sometimes because like lesser demons come out so rarely and they're so rarely worth a 7th level slot. You know what I mean? Like a lesser demon is usually easily put down.
Yeah.
But these wolf demons were cool. They couldn't hurt the other demons because they swung fire. So they were mostly just a nuisance, and they couldn't hurt each other either because they swung fire.
Well, there was also like so I was inside I made a circle of protection for Angelic Demonic.
Yeah.
And I was inside that sheltering with the NPC. But there were still some cultists up, and those were humans. So those were actually like tried to run into the circle, and they would have got us.
Yeah.
So the demons actually drove them out.
Yeah.
So like it was very useful.
Yay. I'm glad. It was cool.
It was really cool.
Uh,
I really wanted to pet them, and also I felt really sad because it's like, oh, you should be free.
Eventually, I just had Tog choke them to death.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done with these. Tog, choke them, please. And so that kind of stuff happened. And then we just kind of stayed in the tavern for a long time after that.
Yeah.
Where we were just kind of sheltering together because we didn't know what kind of deadly stuff was out in the night, and there were some deadly things out there.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually, we needed to study because we didn't have our spellbooks with us, so we needed to get them. So we had to go back to the cabin to get the spellbooks, and it was me and Amon. Like we went.
We slipped out.
We slipped out and went by ourselves. And as
there were a couple people who had like gone out by themselves and got murdered.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, we'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
I hope.
So we're going down the path, and I hear crunch, crunch, crunch behind me as like someone starts running up, and Ed comes up behind me. He's like, body vital blow, and I'm like, eye for an eye, and he's like, ah, and I'm like, ah. Me and Ed both fucking flinching, and I'm like, run like a bitch or die. And he goes, huh, and like fucks off. Like he stabbed me, took his own stab back, and then fucked off. It was so good. And then we went to get the spellbooks, and then we brought them to the tavern and studied the spellbooks there. And managed to rememorize before our time was up.
Yep.
I think we had like some more cultist fights, but after that it was basically like around midnight we went to bed.
Yeah.
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 I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and at one point Tammy like kind of like came out, talked to us out of game. It's like, so, do you mind if I like still sleep in the bed that I used last night, but like not as Till, the Orb of Corruption. Don't worry. And we're like, of course, Tammy. Of course you may.
Yes.
Of course, come hang out.
Of course cool. You can. We're not gonna kick you out of the bed you're using. Yeah, it's fine. So that was kind of the end of our Sunday night. Sort of. We went to bed, and nothing happened that like disrupted us too much.
Yeah.
Lucian and Syl went to some Fae party that I would rather know less about, to be honest. And then on the Sunday morning, we went straight into the final mod, basically.
Yeah, but that wake up.
Yeah.
It was not
spooky music wake up.
I did not like it. I did not like it.
So the way they woke us up on Sunday morning was they put a little like iPod speaker near the door and played like spooky wave noises and stuff. And it was like why is there spooky music? Like everybody's getting up and putting their gear on and stuff. Yeah, it was really really spooky.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
And then we went to the tavern, and then it was like time basically. I brought the heart to Monty.
Yeah.
And then him and Silt like sort of faced off a little bit.
Yeah.
And he needed us to defend him while he like powered up or whatever shit.
Well, and he wasn't paying attention really, so it's like, all right, I'm gonna stay.
Yeah, you're like shepherding him.
Demon, over there, get this way, this way.
So we were trying to defend him while he like powered up a little bit, and it was just like demons on demons on demons. Not to mention Tammy walking around as Silt, like with a sword, going like magic obliterate, magic obliterate, magic obliterate. You know, like swinging for obliteration, and like casually going like power word point obliterate. You know, just like destroying everybody basically. But that it was super cool. It was a really like vicious fight. It was good.
Yeah, because also what Monty was doing was Monty was like powering people up. So like not only did deaths not count, but he was like able to say it like a death just means like a minute timeout kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, well, a death means that Silt is stronger, which is going to screw us later.
Yeah.
But in terms of like this mod, it's just a timeout.
Yeah. Yeah, because none of the deaths were recorded because this was a dream.
Yeah.
Basically. So like everybody who died didn't actually take a death. Which is why the game was so fucking deadly. But anyway, eventually like Sophie got an obliterate or something?
Okay, so what happened is that Monty looks over at Iman and is like, who is the most timid person here? It's like, Sophie, clearly. She doesn't speak above the...
She doesn't talk like this.
We forgot to talk about that.
It's okay. So that'll be an anecdote.
She speaks like this and only a few words at a time. And she's a healer. And she just generally just tries to keep people alive. So ran over to Sophie as she's like bandaging someone up and is like, Sophie, come with me. And I grab her hand and I kind of like gently pull her over here and be like, Monty, Sophie, Monty. Takes her staff and he like looks at it for a little bit and says like, all right, arcane obliterate. Hands it back to Sophie. It's like, go hit Silt with this.
Yeah.
So I'm now escorting Sophie up. Like,
I'm just fighting demons while this is going on. I'm just on a demon rampage. And at one point I was like, Monty, I'm out of spells. And I just grabbed his hand and he was like, full reset. And I'm like, yeah! Get back in. Just fucking obliterating demons.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, so walk up to Silt and then like, so Sophie is just like, screams as loud as she can, arcane obliterate, and Silt just looks over and walks the other direction. We're like, what? What? Run back to Monty. He's like, he's gonna take more. Give me that. So it's like, goes, does another, and then like runs over. She goes, arcane obliterate, and that one seems to stick.
That one catches, yeah.
Yeah.
And then all the demons are obliterated and Silt disappears, right?
Yeah, and then Monty becomes more like the manifestation of fear.
Yeah, because then he's like, thanks, everybody. Thanks. Now, she wasn't lying. The only way to get home is if you die. Power word area web. So everybody's like, whoosh.
Yeah.
He's like, power word area suppress self-mutilate, which means that, like, you can't voluntarily harm yourself.
Yeah.
And then he just walks up to people and goes, and there's the area of effect, like, everybody is under the effect of their greatest fear right now.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, lay on. And then the whole room erupts in, like, as people are, like, trying to escape the web, but they can't.
Yeah.
And Monty just goes around and goes, killing blow 1, killing blow 2, killing blow 3, killing blow 4, killing blow 5, and just like chokes people to death and just drops them and like and just like walks around the room and just chokes everybody out and then like kills them basically. And then we wake up.
Yep.
On the deck of the ship in the dock of New Hope, the new town.
Yep.
And so it all worked out in the end.
Yep. And also, those keys.
Yeah.
those keys that we were protecting from the demon. It's like, oh, there's also a ziggurat that's been discovered.
And there's those keys to the ziggurat.
And inside the ziggurat is something
that sealed fears.
Yes.
Something that sealed fears in the ziggurat.
Which Tawny might find out more about.
Yeah, which Tawny might find more about in January. Yeah. So that's it's pretty great. It's pretty good. It was really good event.
It felt really tight.
It felt really tight. It felt really coordinated, and it felt very dangerous, and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't take a death at all, even in the fucking obliteratosphere.
Yeah.
You know?
But it was close.
But it was close. Like, it wasn't easy. Can't wait to be Moo Cow in January. Yeah. What I would say, review pros cons. I would say pros are very tight event, felt very coordinated, felt like everybody knew what they were doing, felt like NPCs knew what they were doing, felt like there was action and consequence. All that stuff was good, like all that good stuff. Con was I was a little sick sometimes. The game was good, you know. I had to take a rest break basically. I was worried I was getting actually like real sick.
Yeah.
But then it got better, so I was okay.
Yeah. I was glad you were able to get
a
some
moment,
rest.
yeah. Anecdote about Sophie. So when she healed us, when we were melting, after we had stopped melting, she goes, Shaman, I have a request. And I go, yes. She says, can I borrow your hat? I'm like, why? She goes, well, it's not armor or magic or anything, is it? I'm like, no, it's just a hat. She goes, well, Casimir said he needs a fancy hat. And I can think of no hat in town fancier than your own. So if I could borrow it for just an hour, I'd bring it back, and I can pay you if you want. And I was just like, here, just give her my hat while I've got like one arm and no limbs, you know, like, just take it, just bring it back in an hour.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, she's like, thank you. Like goes over there. I was like, what?
Yeah. And an hour later, she comes back.
Yeah, she gives me a hat back. Yeah. So I think that's where I'm gonna cut it off, unless you've got anything else, Siobhan. For the YouTube VOD. I mean, we're gonna talk a little bit after.
Yeah. I thought it was really despite the fact that we traveled so far to do it, and that like
it takes a long time to go to. Yeah.
I feel like it's one of the like.
It's kind of worth it.
Yeah. Like I don't think that the travel time was too much.
Egregious. Yeah. So we're gonna cut it off there for the VOD. Thank you, YouTube people, and we'll see you later. Bye, everybody.